Hi,
Hey,
I'm Yusra with Salesforce. It's a pleasure to meet you.
pleasure is all mine. I'm Chris with Linux.
Okay, it's nice to meet you. I really appreciate you taking the time to meet with me today. I know your schedule is probably very busy, so just to confirm, we have about 10 minutes. Is that right?
Yes, 10 minutes
Okay.
is perfect.
Perfect. So before we dive in, I wanted to just introduce myself and give some background. I am with Salesforce, and I reached out after reading about Linux's strong growth and some of your transformations, and also through my connection with Kevin Suarez. And I learned that your team is exploring a new platform. So my goal today, I just want to understand your current system and any challenges that you're having and what's most important to you when you're evaluating new solutions. Does that sound good?
That sounds great.
Okay, and just before we start, is it okay if I take some notes?
Yeah, for sure.
Okay, perfect. I do have to say though, I came across an article and I was reading about Linux's impressive performance and growth, and it's very exciting to see how the company's evolving.
Yeah, we've made a lot of changes currently in how we approach sales and our customers. It's been pretty crazy, but it's exciting.
That's good. Okay. Yeah, I can imagine. Growth always comes with new challenges and things like that. So my goal today is to also better understand how you're currently handling customer relationships. But before that, I'd love to hear what's been the most exciting part of this transformation for you.
Definitely, since it's been a pretty big shift, seeing how our teams are adapting and finding new ways to connect with customers, it's been pretty interesting.
Yeah.
We're definitely getting there, but it's pretty crazy.
Yeah, that's really great to hear. It's always inspiring to see a new team embrace change. And I always know with any transformation, there's always going to be some difficulties along the way. So let's get into how you're currently managing sales and where you see opportunities to improve.
Yeah, let's do it.
Okay, so before we dive in, I know CRM decisions typically involve multiple stakeholders. So who else is involved in evaluating new platforms at Linux?
Yeah, so our director of sales effectiveness, his name is Mark Yonai. Him as well as some regional directors will definitely have a big say in this decision making.
Okay, yeah. No, I've definitely heard of Mark. So when you're looking at different solutions, what are the top priorities for you and your team?
Definitely ease of use and seamless integration and making sure that the transition doesn't slow us down or set us back in any way.
Okay. So what CRM are you guys using right now?
Currently, we're using a non-cloud based CRM, which is Excel, primarily Excel, and we also use some Microsoft tools, other Microsoft tools.
Okay, so you're using Excel and Microsoft tools. So what are some of your biggest challenges with that setup?
We don't always have real-time visibility or real-time data update access, and so because of that, sometimes multiple reps will reach out to the same customer without knowing it.
Okay, so when that happens, how does it impact your sales process?
So it really slows things down and it makes us look like we're uncoordinated or unprepared, and it's not really great for customer relationships, or it's not a good look on us.
Yeah, definitely. I can see how that could be very difficult. But aside from the duplicate outreach, how does the lack of real-time visibility affect sales managers and their ability to track performance?
Managers have to manually gather the data from multiple spreadsheets, which is really time consuming and it's not always accurate. It's just a really big inconvenience for us.
Yeah, that does sound very inconvenient. So how often do managers find themselves making decisions without the most up-to-date data?
Pretty often, we're constantly playing catch up with reports. I'd say we do it very often, a few times a week.
Oh wow, so that's really tough, especially when trying to hit aggressive growth goals and stuff like that. So since your territory managers spend most of their time in the field, how do they currently update and share customer information?
So primarily through emails and spreadsheets, which isn't always in sync, so it's really not the best.
Yeah, okay. Okay, so that could often lead to missed opportunities, I can understand. So if a rep isn't up to date on a customer status, how do you think that would impact follow-ups and maybe closing deals?
It definitely makes things a lot harder because sometimes deals will slip through the cracks just because we're missing the right timing.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So I know the market is also very competitive right now. So do you think better lead tracking and collaboration would help Linux maybe gain some sort of an edge?
Oh yeah, definitely. We're always looking for ways to be more proactive.
Okay, that's really great to hear. So have you noticed any specific areas where internal collaboration, like maybe sharing practices or insights, could help improve sales performances?
Yeah, so our teams have a lot of knowledge, but we don't always have a structured way to share it across regions and update each other on it.
Yeah, that's super helpful to know. It sounds like real-time visibility. Streamline reporting, and improve collaborations are probably key areas that you'd like to enhance. Does that sound right?
Yeah, that about sums it up.
Okay, perfect. So I know Lennox is also considering Microsoft 365 and Sugar CRM. What's been most appealing of these options so far?
Definitely integration and ease of use are big priorities for us.
Okay, yeah, that makes sense. So a lot of companies transitioning from spreadsheets, they often prioritize like seamless integration to minimize like disruptions. So have you identified any concerns around implementation and adoption?
Yeah, definitely. We're really worried about a learning curve. We can't afford any downtime, and all of our teams are really used to our current CRM. So making this will be a big change for everyone.
Yeah, that's definitely valid. Sometimes the transition could make the process a little bit longer, maybe more difficult. So many companies find that maybe proper training could possibly help with this. Are you looking for any onboarding or training resources in CRM?
Yeah, we definitely want a system that's easy to use and provides strong training resources. It would make it a lot easier on us.
Yeah, definitely. That makes a lot of sense. So in the past, how has your team handled transitions? Have there been any like roadblocks or like lessons that you guys have learned?
Yeah, it's usually been pretty slow at first. People don't see immediate value. When people don't see immediate value, they always like tend to stick to old habits. So it definitely takes a while for us to get there.
Yeah, no, that's a great point. Sometimes a smooth transition is always key. Some companies can find that like buy-in early from sales leaders and offering ongoing support can like often help adoption.
Yeah.
Would it be helpful for you if I shared some insights on how similar companies have managed with a transition like this?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, yeah.
I could share that with Mark also.
Yeah,
I think
definitely.
It would aid in our decision-making process a lot.
Yeah, definitely. Okay, that's really awesome. So it sounds like your main priorities are improving efficiency, I would say, and then reducing duplicate outreach, and then ensuring a smooth transition. So I could also put together some information. I'll definitely put together the information on similar companies like that have approached these challenges, and I can also share some details on training and adoption strategies if that would be useful for you also.
Yeah, definitely. That would be great.
Okay, yeah, that's amazing. So would you maybe be open to a follow-up meeting where we could go more in detail about like the training process and like how other companies have dealt with it and like how it could help?
Yeah, definitely. I'll bring Mark along with me as well as the other regional directors. So maybe we could close the deal that day.
Yeah, that's amazing. So what day would work for you? Maybe next week? Are you free?
Yeah, I'm free. How's Tuesday next week at 10 a.m.?
Yeah, that's perfect. Do you prefer virtual or in person?
In person. We can meet at my office.
Okay, perfect. So I will see you next week. I'll send a calendar invite and maybe some follow-up information before we meet again. And also I wanted to give you my business card in case you had any other questions. You can definitely shoot me an email. My phone number is on there too.
Definitely. I'll keep this
Okay,
Thank you so much.
Forward. It's a pleasure. Thank you so much.
Online. Thank you so much.
Okay. That was good. Let's freaking go. Okay.